And we're seeing head-to-head battles, a lot of contact, one more times, competition timeouts, straightforward, but far from straight.
Yeah, and now we're into the top 16, so things can get interesting now.
Yeah, this is where things start to coalesce, aggregate, kind of coagulate, and here we go. Chelsea Denofa and Wataru Masuyama with our first battle up. First battle of a Royal Purple Top 16. Chelsea Denofa initiates that Pennzoil RTR Spec 5, now transitioning into the second as Wataru Masuyama put on one heck of a run. Ages to go, but look at Chelsea Denofa. You see the attitude of the car, dipping, squatting, but Masuyama mimicking that now into our final outside zone. Here's where you want to keep your car together. We talk about attrition. Let's not have contact, kids. Let's keep it clean, see a good fight, wheel to wheel, but not door to door.
Look, I think we're going to see a lot of what we just saw right there. That's the chase driver giving an incredibly strong, aggressive chase, and the lead driver here, Denofa, putting out that #1 qualifying run. The only thing that Masuyama did wrong there was that first outside zone. He stayed way on the inside. But once he comes into the mix, he's playing really strong here with Chelsea Denofa, keeping the angle on at the right mimic, coming through that smoke line, a little bit tighter of a line to gain that proximity. And so for Denofa, he knows that if Masuyama gives him a deep line in outside zone 1, he's got to take advantage of it, because that's something that Masuyama did not do.
And I'm really impressed. We talk about, Dan Burkett, certain drivers that, just haven't completely peaked out, and we know that it's there. It's like, pulling back the skin. There you are, Peter. Like there, like Masuyama, it's right there, and I feel like there you are, Masuyama. Like I know it exists in there, but maybe it's this track just being flat and straightforward. Maybe his car just matching, being the perfect pair, the car and this track. All right, Masuyama will be out front at Buy Now Japan S15. Chelsea Denofa. Watch for Chelsea Denofa here. I think this is going to be another approach where he's not going to throw it all the way out there. He's going to go to like a 10.5 as opposed to an 11. And now into that second outside zone, and there it is. So look at that. You see him get into formation. Masuyama pour a little more angle at it, and Chelsea maxing out the angle. Let's see this transition. How do they handle this? Does Denofa have the horsepower to get right back to it? And I think he does. And Masuyama comes out. Whoa, no! Oh, just barely taps that back right. That could have been really bad.
Hey, how's your father?
Wow, yeah, he definitely, check your shorts there, Masuyama. That could have been bad.
Well, here we go. Coming out of the gate, we see Masuyama in the lead position. Nice little snap there, and Denofa does do a better job on outside zone 1 in the chase position. Good transition back around right in the pocket by Denofa. Saw Masuyama make that adjustment with the front wheels. It doesn't affect Denofa at all, even a little rub in there. And this is a tremendous job by Denofa to make a point of difference in the chase position after a strong lead run. Very well executed from him, and as you said, a 10.5 out of 11. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
he could do a bit more, but that was amazing.
I think that's leave a little in the tank, and that's what champions do. We see that, and I've said this about particular drivers. I'm not naming names, but a champion becomes a champion when they don't beat themselves. They beat the other drivers, but don't beat themselves. And Chelsea Denofa, a lot of eyeballs on Frederick Aasbo. How is he going to fare? Comes underneath the boots and now into that first outside zone. Here goes Frederick Aasbo. Odi Bakchis right there, not exactly mimicking the angle. Frederick Aasbo puts it deep into that second outside zone, but look at Odi Bakchis right there. Looks like he's about to grind some Falcon on his door. Past that inside clip into that final outside zone. Frederick Aasbo right on the razor's edge, but Odi is right there, and that's why these gentlemen are in the hunt for the championship. And that's what I want to see. Stay off each other. It's like two kids in the backseat. Don't keep your hands off each other.
I told you, we're going to see a lot of that just because this course and these drivers mix those two things together. Look at this, Aasbo right at the edge of outside zone 1. Odi right there through the smoke line. Maybe a tiny bit less angle, but for a split second. And then look at this. I mean, that is unbelievable from Odi Bakchis. Perfect on that inside clip by Frederick Aasbo. Back around once again, getting into outside zone 3, nice and early. And there is Odi Bakchis on a marginally tighter line, but overall, strong performance. 9 out of 10 for Aasbo on the lead, yeah. 9 out of 10 for Odi Bakchis in the chase. Super close battle so far.
All right, it's going to come down to this. I mean, you're looking at two of the best chasers, historically, and what they can do with their control. in that chase position is dominate from the back. Here we go, Odie Bakchis initiating, and Frederick Aasbo taking a bit of a shallower line there. We'll see if he can catch up into that second outside zone. I'll tell you what, Odie, that is great proximity there, but Odie really deep, really solid. And now into that final outside zone. Look at that. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-wee.
Oh, man.
Yo.
Come on, boy. Dang.
Well done. Just got a text from Von Gittin Jr. He watching us, the former champ. He's at home watching with his boys.
Dude.
Yo, take a look.
Man, just unreal from the onset, right out of the gate. Pretty much door-to-door action. The mimic effect from Aasbo, basically doing the exact same thing Odie did to him through that outside zone 2, just barely glancing that inside clip into outside zone 3 early, and tons of pressure across the finish line with Odie leading the way on an incredible, solid lead run. Here it is one more time. I mean, this is the definition of high-level drifting here from these guys. The timing is correct, getting in the pocket in the right area, mimicking the line, the angle, managing your way through the smoke line. I mean, that transition from Aasbo through the smoke line was just insane. And we see guys that have to back off there because they don't know what's going to be on the other side of the smoke line. Aasbo knows Odie's driving style. He understands he's not going to play any games, and that he just needs to make a prediction about what's happening on course half a second in front of him, and he just did it beautifully.
And that's a trust fall, man. That's like cross your arms, and it's bond building, but also it's bond breaking, because you want to kind of trust that person and know that they're going to be there, but also you have to take those risks. Risk it for the biscuit, and sometimes it pay off and sometimes it doesn't. And in this case, you have your points leader, you have 6th in points, you have who's been 2nd overall in the championship, 3rd overall, and we're breaking taillights, we're breaking bumpers, snapping necks, cashing checks. Let's see what we got. Frederick Aasbo, Odie Bakchis, slide him left for Aasbo. One more time and a one more time. It's going to be a one more time here. And again, that's Brian Eggert siding with Frederick Aasbo. It's our performance up garage. 86. Coming out and seeing what he's got. Kazuya Taguchi in that first outside zone. Yep. Bearing Reader in some smoke, but not phasing now. Oh, look at Reader. I'm not going anywhere. Hold up, wait a minute. Let me see some Reader in it. And now coming into that final outside zone, Kazuya Taguchi, big flick there, pulling away from Reader, and guess what? Did not compromise angle with that pull away motion right there by Kazuya Taguchi.
Yeah, Taguchi gets a great start out of the gate at the deepest part of outside zone 1. That allows Reader to at least be on the same line. Could have had a little bit closer proximity, but we know how challenging of a part of the course that is. But right here, Reader keeping the pressure on, driving right in front of the smoke line. Now he's going to get lost in it. He's going to lose some ground a little bit, and Kazuya Taguchi does fill that final outside zone. So at least we are seeing some areas here where spotters can give some advice to their drivers and say, hey, look, this is what needs to happen on this second run if you want to get that win.
You got to break the arm, man. You got to turn that hat around like a light switch. You just got to whammo. Jim Lau here in the building, co-founder of Formula Drift. Not rejoining the Formula Drift staff, but still part of it, but part of the PRI team, Performance Racing Industry. And good to see Jim back here, Formula Drift event. Travis Reader will now lead Kazuya Taguchi, giving chase, as we are about to throw down the second half of this battle. Into that first outside zone, Kazuya Taguchi chasing down Reader. Reader pedals it into the second big, long outside zone. Can Kazuya chase him down? And yes, he can. There he is. Now coming into that final outside zone, Reader. Big angle from him, Kazuya Taguchi. And powers all the way through. Got a full pull, and guess what? No contact. There's no contact. That was amazing. Here we go. Let's look at it again.
Like we said, Jared, it's going to be a lot of these kind of battles where it's very close in proximity. Any little mistake is going to be that point of difference. Taguchi fell off for a second there, gave a little bit of ground to Reader. Then he's got to hustle up, try to close the door through that inside clip number 1. Now coming back around Reader, deep into outside zone 3. Here comes Taguchi, and better through that last section of outside zone 3. Here it is again. Final outside zone, surging there. But look at Reader right at the edge of the course. Great last impression right here in front of the judges' tower.
That's a great BC Racing side by side. You can see the drone location is almost identical. It's hard to get, obviously, just the eye in the sky, the truth serum. See Kazuya Taguchi filling all of it. Reader, look at Kazuya on the chase position on the right. Now watch this transition. So Kazuya going deeper. Yeah, it's like the applause-o-meter. It's bouncing around. The needle is going Taguchi, is going Reader. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, it's just going 4-9, 5-1, 5-1, 4-9. Just overall. So slide him left for Reader, right for Taguchi, and that's another one more time. Sorensen Motorsports, BMW. High flying Brandon Sorensen. Here we go. Ryan Tuerck leaving the start line. And that'll be a restart of a cone was just barely hit and pushed out of place. So quick little knock there. We'll restart him. Nice job on Matt Sopa. Throwing a little disco, just a little party there. Congratulations. And pull him back to the line. Hush feels really great.
Tuerck taking a long way back.
Take the long way home. Ryan Tuerck, a busy man. Saw him last weekend with his Formula Supra, that Judd V10 Supra that he built, not for drift, for grip. Had a good time out there at Gingerman Raceway at Grid Life. And also, he's building I don't know if you saw his Celica, his all-track Celica out at his house. So he's building a bunch of project cars. Brandon Sorensen, he's been doing a lot of cool stuff. Again, UTV is the Sorensen family has another younger brother outside of Amanda. So Amanda's the oldest, Brandon, and their younger brother. He's been doing some truck and some karting, so we've been busy. Everybody pretty busy here in the drifting world as Ryan Tuerck, make sure he doesn't hit a cone. Nope, we're good. Ryan Tuerck, Rain X, Nitto tire shrouded, Toyota GR Corolla, Sorensen in that chase position. Oh, body, oh my goodness. Holy banana cakes.
Oh my goodness. Ooh. He's all right. That was Matt Field times like 4x.
That was just a very abrupt stop. I saw his helmet moving. I'm seeing Ryan Tuerck move. Ryan Tuerck get out of the car. He's okay. Round of applause for Ryan Tuerck. This is, I'm at a loss for words. And it's nothing. It didn't seem malicious. It seemed aggressive. We saw this with Mike Power going into Matt Field, same exact spot in the transition, going from 1 to 2. Here is the instant replay. Let's watch it again, Ryan.
Yeah, like we were saying, this is a much heavier hit than Matt Power or than Mike Power and Field. And it happens in the same area, and it's just on that transition, not getting the timing right, coming through that section, knowing that there is a decel zone there and you can see Tuerck is on the e-brake in the decel zone, making that adjustment. And Sorensen, I mean, if let's put it this way, if Tuerck wasn't there, Sorensen's going into the wall either way, right? You can see by the momentum that he has that he would have carried himself into the wall there. So it's just a driving error on Sorensen's side of things. It's unfortunate that it has to happen at this junction or this juncture in competition. I honestly don't know if Ryan Tuerck's car is going to be repairable. That was a very, very hard hit on a part of the course that does have a little bit of play. Those walls will move, but they're still concrete walls, okay?
Yeah, so look at Tuerck quickly jumping in action. He's on the radio with his team. It might be Biddies, it might be Dom, it might be Steph, it might be the boys, I don't know. But he's on the radios checking corners. They, you know, all the drivers have their corners. So as, you know, as violent as it looked, it seemed like the back left obviously caught Brandon. We'll slow it down. I'd love to see a replay here, but you saw the front end whip pretty hard. The body parts made it, I think, even a little bit more dramatic. Obviously, you know, Ryan, coincidentally, who has totaled a car at round 1, came back and won New Jersey later that year. Let's slow it down here and really watch where he hits, because, okay, on the transition, Brandon hits him pretty square, like, you know, mimicking the angle. So bing, and then watch, slow down, back right, front right. Back left, I think, was just affected by Brandon's actual contact.
Secondary. It's that right there.
Boom. That throws him off. Suspension, back right, front right. Now the question is that nose tweaked? You know, with it hitting, so it'll bend the frame to the left. Is drivetrain completely trashed? You know, obviously, you know, or just like the alignment of the vehicle, is it stretched? I mean,
it's hard to say because these cars really are modular in
to a degree.
To a degree, you know, you're still talking about a stock chassis. This is not tube frame or anything like that. So we have seen the design of these cars evolve over the years, but that was a tough hit. I mean, that's a hard one. And, you know, what we saw, say, for example, with Matt Field in Long Beach is that the car at the moment was going to be written off in competition. The fact that Matt Field was able to get it back, straighten out the chassis, do the whole 9 in the time frame that he did was a miracle within itself.
Long Beach to Atlanta, you're talking about. Yeah, and he got married.
Yeah, and that, you know, that's basically a 3.5 week departure from the event. So we won't know until we get a report back. Obviously, we've seen Papadakis do amazing things in their history, let alone just today.
The Papadakis Racing Camp, yes.
So who knows? Yeah. But I mean, in the meantime, it's going to be an incomplete, you know, for Sorensen, and Ryan Tuerck will have to give us a status of his vehicle.
Yeah, and I'm sure he will. We'll find out what's going on here. We'll get Ryan Tuerck's vehicle off course. We're going to stay with this story here, but in the meantime, throw it down to Lorette Nickel, who's with, again, we talked about Ryan Tuerck, his history here. Chris Forsberg, his history here. Forsberg goes against JTP. Down to you, Lorette.
Thank you, Jared. A very uncomfortable silence from everybody as we were waiting to hear that Ryan Tuerck is okay. What do you do at this point? Do you wait until he drives by? Do you go check on him?
Well, I mean, he obviously needs to, you know, make sure he's okay and take care of himself. But yeah, once he comes by, I'll surely run out and give him a high five. Because yeah, like I didn't see it, but I heard, you know, the hit. They said Ryan's in the wall, and it was pretty quiet for a minute. So we're just, you know, glad to hear he's okay. Everyone clapped. So he's probably a little rattled, but I'm sure the guys will get the car back together.
Yeah, absolutely. And you and Ryan have a long history, and you have an amazing history and legacy, like I was talking about Ryan with earlier. You are responsible for getting us here. In 2019, you started the process.
Yeah, so I know Mike Knapp, who runs this facility since day one, and we started the first drifting events in the Northeast about 10 feet away from here in this parking lot, and that was 20 years ago. And so it was 2019, we're at Pro Bro Down, which is tomorrow, and Mike was telling me he wanted to do something with the drag strip. It was closed down, but he wanted to build a track in there, and I gave him the Field of Dreams move, and I'm like, if you build it, I'll get FD to come here, you know. And so I went, I met with, you know, the owner of Formula Drift, Jim Lau, and we started to lay tracks over the space to kind of see like the sizing and the comparison, and realize that we could fit a decently sized track in there. And so to have, you know, like a 4-sided venue, shooting through the gate, and having what I knew it wouldn't be a fast track, but it really resembles a lot of those European tracks where it's like really close, and the tandem and the contact that everyone's seeing is super exciting. I mean, my car is getting super beat up, but you know, we're putting on a great show for everyone, and that's what we wanted to get from this stadium.
Yeah, absolutely. And coming off that second place finish in Orlando, are you so happy with how the Z's running?
Yeah, absolutely. We did some small suspension changes for this track. It's a little different without the bump and the transitions and the banking. But you know, our NOS Energy Drink Nissan Z is performing fantastic. The GT rails are holding up perfectly, and so we're just looking forward to keep pushing on.
Chris, thank you very much. Jared, Ryan.
So as Ryan Tuerck gets wheeled off here, the thought process goes, so to elaborate, and people are inquiring, this is very similar to Matt Field in Long Beach. Big contact, big hit, not a corner was spared. But what is spared here is, so Brandon Sorensen obviously at fault because of the contact. Ryan Tuerck is allotted 10 minutes to fix his vehicle. It would be a miracle to get that thing fixed in 10 minutes. It'd be a miracle to get it fixed in 5 minutes, but guess what? Miracles can happen, and they do happen. So he's allotted 10 minutes by contact, 5 minutes because of competition timeout. He has one and only one, so 15 minutes. If he's unable to fix the vehicle given that time, he would therefore be given the win automatically because Sorensen obviously took him out. He would advance on to 8, but couldn't advance any further. No more time to work on the vehicle. So either Reader or Taguchi, who we saw go one more time, would automatically advance on past Ryan Tuerck and move on to the 4. So not the way you want to advance on. Obviously, you want to see competition. We've seen this. We knew what was going to happen, and just overall crazy turn of scenarios. And you know, the work begins now. Ryan Tuerck already in the cockpit. Another round of applause, if you will, for Ryan Tuerck and that Rain-X Toyota GR Corolla, the race service driver, the rock star, Nitto tires shrouded. Again, that car made the debut, the worldwide debut in Long Beach. And the Toyota GR Corolla, hot hatchback, 3-cylinder, all-wheel drive. This thing's gonna be sick, and it is sick. If you haven't seen it in the paddock just yet, or if you've seen it online, very cool hatchback car. Worldwide premiere with the team at Toyota, debuted it, and he ended up winning in Long Beach. It was a really cool event and a great way to kick off that Toyota GR Corolla. Doing here in the streets of Long Beach. We are here for round 1 of the Formula Drift Championship. Are you ready to send it? He is your defending champion, Frederick, the Norwegian Hammer Aasbo. The gentleman you still know and love, Ryan Tuerck. Are you ready to see our first battle here on the streets of Long Beach? Ryan Tuerck, your #1 qualifier. Ryan Tuerck gets the win. Defending champ, Frederick, the Norwegian Hammer Aasbo, Rockstar Energy Drink. Aasbo gets all the way, 1, 2, back at it. We got one more time.
Yeah.
You get it one more time.
I can watch that battle all day long.
Forsberg and Tuerck going against each other. Whoa, baby! Whoa, doctor, look at that. Ryan Tuerck gets the win and advances on. Frederick Aasbo gets out of the outside zone. Oh, look at Denofa! Woo! Denofa hurt you, but he dives in on the outside contact. Frederick Aasbo getting the win. Our first half of the Final Four is set. Ryan Tuerck tucked into that pocket. Woo! Make some noise! Ryan Tuerck is going to the finals. Here is Matt Field, Frederick Aasbo, coming in hot, gets all the way out there. You asked for it. Oh, no. Boy! Woo!
Today I just ended up being too greedy and basically blocking him to do the transition, and he smashed into the wall, and I don't want to be that guy.
So Matt Field moves on, but unable to run. So guess what? With a celebratory run, your winner at round 1, AutoZone, Streets of Long Beach, presented by Time Pass. Congratulations to Ryan Tuerck.
Ryan Tuerck's last win in Long Beach was in 2009.
That was my first win ever.
Your first win ever, Ryan. You get to kick off the 2022 season with a win. How much have you learned here that you can bring into Atlanta?
Learned a ton about myself coming into this season as far as a mental game, and the team being very on point this year, and just the car being phenomenal to drive.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner of Long Beach round number 1, 2022, Ryan Tuerck.
Formula Drift, the fans, the waves, the water, the excitement, and the Rain-X Toyota GR Corolla Nitto Tires Rockstar Race Service gets the win. We'll see you in Atlanta. Send it!
For those who don't settle when others do, who will give everything but won't give up. For those who believe in unlimited while others limit themselves. For those who are set free by performance and believe innovation can take you anywhere.
The first time you try Pedal Commander, you'll feel oh yeah.
Rockstar energy drink. There's Matt Wall, the twin turbo 350Z. Tanner fast going through the paces. Solid line here. Great angle. Woo! Good initiation from Dye. Did you see that faint flip entry? Just gangster right there.
Good job right there by Aasbo, but look at Odie. Bakchis diving right in on the attack and
Positioning now. Ryan Tuerck really needs to show up. He went off course. Tightens it up to the front clip. As is Freddie. The Norwegian hammer gets sweated by Denofa. And then he just keeps on going past. And Frederick Aasbo fills all that outside zone. Michael, that's a right there. Look at him roll tide. Here we go. Final outside zone line. Pretty straightforward. Outside zone. Frederick Aasbo right there. And now bring around that final clip. Approaching, pulling some tire up. So qualifying playing a role here in Long Beach.
I'm Dylan Hughes, Formula Drift Pro Driver, and today we're going to talk about Royal Purple HPS and what actually goes into it. There's a lot of talk about additives, and Royal Purple has its proprietary Centerlick technology. It is fortified with a high level of zinc phosphorus anti-wear additive for exceptional protection against heat and wear. Its high film strength improves sealing between the piston ring and cylinder wall for maximum horsepower and torque. Royal Purple HPS, race car technology for the street.
Welcome back. Taking a look in the pits of Ryan Tuerck, seeing what's going on here. This Rain-X Toyota GR Corolla. Haven't seen a clock. Lorette is down there. And
it's unfortunate in context that this happened on the first run. If it happened on the second run, Tuerck could get the win, and then he would have all the time until his next battle to fix the vehicle. Then he could call a competition timeout. But because we're in the first half and he's got to make it to the second half of the battle, the timing becomes an issue here. If he can't make it because Sorensen is at fault, he's going to get the win, but he's not going to be able to advance on into the next round. And that's an unfortunate situation for him because it's not his fault.
Yeah, and it's it is very unfortunate, and you know, just this is racing, man, and rubbing and crashing. It's part of the component, and that's, you kind of prep for this. And if you don't know, and if you haven't been inside of a pro drift or even a race car team in a trailer, they have corner boards, you know, and they'll literally have corners, you know, front right, front left, back right, back left, and they'll have basically those corners, suspension components, arms, you know, knuckles, particular things that they need to replace. And I'll tell you what, they need to check out all the corners. And right now, you know, with just about 9 minutes left, they will have an additional 5 after this. They're in assessment mode, so every second counts. But unfortunately, you know, don't know. And you know, Papadakis' team runs deep, as you know, Aasbo was talking about earlier when his car broke. All hands on deck. What the heck was going on here? Now that's what's happening here. That, you know, Aldo works right there. That's Aldo. He works on Castro's team. You got Sean. You got all the boys. You know, you got Dom. That's Biddy's right there. That's Ryan Tuerck's spotter. He's in his ear, and now he's down on the ground. He does the wiring on the vehicle, but obviously you kind of want a jack of all trades, or actually master at all trades, and that's what these teams. That's what they're looking for, and that's what really separates a champion, winners, or, you know, winners and champions from, you know, somebody that shows up and just does it for the gram, you know. And obviously none of these drivers want to do that. They want to get on the podium. They want to hold the signature carbon fiber trophy. They want to get involved. And Aasbo, the teammate, is up there. So what's interesting here is, you know, just looking over here, Papadakis still has to continue on. You know, Castro went out yesterday, unfortunately did not make qualifying, but look at this, breaking out the Sawzall to cut off whatever parts that is. And, you know, 15 minutes, and now down to, I mean, it's got to be 6 plus another 5, 11 minutes. I mean, if you're a praying man, or if you believe in miracles, cross your fingers, cross your toes, cross your eyes. It's about to get wild. All right, so as the action continues on track and off track, Frederick Aasbo, Odi Bakchis, this is the one more time battle between them, Odi and Aasbo. So Aasbo will lead. This is the one more time battle. This is a clean, fresh start. All things considered, the Rockstar Energy Drink Toyota GR Supra into that first outside zone. There goes Frederick Aasbo into that second outside zone. Here goes Aasbo, and now Odi Bakchis. The Type S Lights, the party continues here. And look at Odi Bakchis right there. But what a great lead run by Frederick Aasbo. Again, our current points leader in that final outside zone. This is very similar to what we saw in their first battle, Ryan.
Are you sure the live stream truck isn't playing a trick on us? They just didn't replay the first run of the first battle?
Yeah, wash, rinse, repeat, man.
I mean, that's the level of professionalism these guys have. I mean, right at the edge of outside zone 1 is Frederick Aasbo. Odi tucking in through the smoke line, getting right to the door of Frederick Aasbo, keeping that pressure on Aasbo. So smooth and consistent through that inside clip. Great mimicking effect there by Odi Bakchis. Maybe just a sliver of a tighter line at the beginning of outside zone 3. But other than that, 9.5 out of 10 for Aasbo, 9.5 out of 10 for Odi Bakchis. Great way to start this one more time battle.
These fans are hyped right here. They're sticking around and finding out. And here we go. Second half of this battle, Odi Bakchis, Frederick Aasbo. Odi firing off, and look at this, Aasbo. This is that X factor that we're looking for. What do we got here, kids? Into that second outside zone. Look at Odi Bakchis right, I mean, drawing that line. But look at Aasbo, wheel to wheel. Nitto to Falcon, Toyota to Nissan. Now to that final outside zone, Ryan, wow. Woo, Doctor, come on. Wow, and this is only in the 16. This is in top 16.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my gosh.
Where's my heart rate monitor?
Oh, bro. Flat line, dude. And obviously this deserves a BC Racing side-by-side.
Well, here goes Odi out front. Same thing, maybe a little bit shallower of a line compared to Aasbo in the lead. Aasbo right here transitions, gets right to the door.
Cow.
It almost looked like he was going to get in front of Odie for a second, but he is tapping Odie along the way. I mean, that is proximity level 10. Great job there by both guys.
He just tattooed Odie. Hey bro, what do you want? Barbed wire? Let me get you. You want barbed wire? Okay, you want mom on the door? Okay, I'm gonna give you a Norwegian hammer right in your door. Bing, bong. Look at this dude.
The only thing he could have done better on outside zone 2 was maybe have the line back a little bit, but that allowed him to gain proximity. And so when you're thinking about what to sacrifice, he was just door to door all the way through, and it really helped him kind of make the case when you're trying to compare those chase runs. And the lead run here from Aasbo, look how deep and long he is into outside zone 1. Right there, just for a second, he goes a little bit in front of Odie's wheels, and so that will probably be held against him. But look at the proximity and the duration, tapping the door there, incredible job. And this can only happen because both drivers know what to do in each of their respective positions, and they are absolutely professional.
Oh, my head hurts, and in a great way, in an absolute great way. And if you can recall, you know, Lorette getting the inside scoop from Stefan Papadakis, he said, bang doors, and that's exactly what he did. So that just goes to show you, you know, oh man, look at this cut wheel. Oh, wear some glasses, dog. And just, the time is ticking here. The clock is ticking down. We'll get a clock shot here in a moment. Scores are in. Slide him left for Aasbo, right for Odie, and it looks like Fredrik Aasbo gets the win. Aasbo gets the win, and there it is. The Norwegian flag flies a little higher, and what that means, Tuerck, but we will see. Because we have Taguchi, ISR Performance Up Garage 86, and Travis Reader. Remember, this is a one more time battle between them into that first outside zone. Here comes Taguchi, and now Reader in that chase position, in that second outside zone. Bring it all the way through. Again, this is the one more time battle. And now in that final outside zone, nasty flick by Taguchi, and crossing the finish line. So Ryan, there it is. So there's the 50 seconds. So that's part of the 10 minutes. There's another 5-minute clock that will begin once that expires. I mean, they haven't gotten that corner off.
Yeah, looks like a lot of work ahead. May get tight there, and while they're putting in effort on the car, these drivers are putting in effort on the track. Taguchi and Reader. Again, a lot of the same action. These drivers are getting so comfortable on this track. We're seeing such close action. Any little mistake, any little flub will make the difference in an overall run, as Travis Reader and Taguchi once again continue to impress on run 1 of this one more time battle.
Lorette Nickel, you can see down there shooting some shots. There's Dom in that back right corner, grabbing the BC Racing coilover. And this is also, you know, you have to think they'll get the parts on, they have to align it. You know, this is where you also want to stay calm. You know, your performance surgery on the vehicle, it needs to be precise. Otherwise, you know, the entrustment for, you know, for Ryan Tuerck to drive this thing. And shout out to Shannon and Roman watching at home. Their new baby boy and his wife Shannon. Ryan's okay. It's the best part about it. Race car things, it does happen. So now let's alternate the order here. We got the tow truck back into its respective position. Ryan, the wind actually shifting gears. It's actually now blowing towards us. It was kind of going right to left. All right, here we go. Reader, Taguchi. Second half of this battle. Who's moving on? Travis Reader had a great showing in Orlando. Can he do it again? In that first outside zone coming to the second. The big, long 180. And look at Reader. Taguchi right there. Can Taguchi make an attempt for a podium here? Oh, Reader with that stepped kind of initiation. And Taguchi, some great driving here by all the drivers now as we're whittling it down.
These guys definitely made for each other here on these battles. We're seeing just such close action. You can see that compression effect and a great transition from Taguchi coming through and then entering outside zone 2 with Reader right there in tow. Incredible job maintaining a good mimicking effect coming through the smoke line, and then again right here on that final outside zone as Reader stays deep in that zone. Taguchi follows him, stays on the right line. And from the get-go, Taguchi just looks like he's got complete control of the vehicle, very comfortable. And Reader with those amazing lead runs is just allowing that to happen. So that's what we see when you put those things together.
Roll them. Here we are, that BC Racing side-by-side. Look at Reader's initiation. Kazuya gains that ground, transitions into that second outside zone. Reader goes deep. Kazuya, look at Reader's proximity there. Kazuya now, look at him in that chase position. Now separation here happens between Reader and Kazuya. Kazuya tight on the chase. Oh my gosh, almost identical. Holy cow. They've already had one more time. This is it. So Ryan, that's their 5-minute clock. The clock underneath, that was 10. Here's 2. Is that a wheel on the front right corner?
2 minutes, guys.
That front right corner has been completed. Biddy's now working his way to left. Reader or Taguchi, slide him left for Travis. Reader unanimously gets the win. Travis Reader gets the win and advances on. A great effort by back at it. Ryan Little, Matt Field.
The other guy that went into the wall.
Yeah, Matt Field. Here goes Matt Field. Falcon Tires goes off course. The Borla Drift Cave Corvette. Now in that second outside zone. Ryan Littoral, first time top 16 this year in that power stop. Whoa. GT Radel S15. Matt Field now into that final outside zone. He was talking about thrashing. Quickly looking at his social media, his team thrashing, get the car back together.
And that's the first run that Matt Field has done since the repair that happened, it seems like ages ago.
Where he tore off. Remember, he didn't wait for the verdict. He beeline to the pits.
Exactly. Gets a huge gap on Littoral right there, but goes a little bit too deep into outside zone 1. Has to take that kind of hasty line to get to the beginning of outside zone 2. Here comes Littoral, putting the pressure on there. Oh, a little tap. And you can see that did have an effect on Field. Field gets into that outside zone 3. Littoral on a slightly tighter line there as they cross the finish line. And now they will switch things up. And I would imagine, given Field's conditioning at this point, he'll want to look at the car.
E-Town, how we doing out there? Look at this. What do we get? This guy's filming. He's got his hood on. This guy got a Kazoo Racing shirt on. Waving the flag. What flag is that? Flying it. All right, here we go. Ryan Littoral, Matt Field. So Littoral will now lead. Matt Field giving chase. See Chris Forsberg going back there in the background. Second run of this battle. Other side of the top 16. The Royal Purple top 16. Ryan Littoral through that start chicane. Picking off the second run. Ryan Littoral enters into that first outside zone. Coming now as the sun sets. Ryan Littoral rises to the occasion. Filling all that second outside zone, but not shaking Matt Field. Let's see how they transition into that final outside zone. Littoral goes in. Matt Field drops into formation. Good job by Ryan Littoral out front. Great to see Littoral. But you saw Littoral look down in the mirror. Yeah, Matt Field was right there. Great battle by the RB-powered Power Stop, Heritage Wheels, GT Radial S15.
Well, it was good for Ryan Littoral to get into that first outside zone. Unfortunately, Field was right there with him. He took advantage of that, and that's what you want to see. If you're going to give that deep line, the chase driver needs to be there as well. Same area on the course where Littoral and Field made a little bit of contact. They both got a tiny bit twitchy right there before inside clip number 1. But overall, great performance by Ryan Littoral in the lead position, doing everything he can as the sun is starting to set. And Matt Field trying to get that secondary shakedown in the vehicle after that big hit not too long ago in the top 32. So it's in the judges' hands now, Jared. Moving along after quite a bit of competition drama, I guess you would say.
Yeah, it's a good way of putting it.
In terms of competition timeouts, collision, one more time, all the fun stuff.
And this is This is why, you know, rules are enacted and things going on. No yawning. We're far from done, buddy. No yawning. This guy's ready for sleep, bro. No way. You don't go anywhere. Yeah, dudes. She gives thumbs up. Homeboy's got his ear protection on. All right, car number 909 from the IE, Ryan Lytle. It's lit. All right, taking a look at the side-by-side. Oh, yeah,
So
see
Field,
Ryan Lytle.
Yeah, Field got a jump on him, but see, he makes a little bit of a mistake there by being too hot into outside zone 1. Field does a great job getting in the pocket there on the chase run, but Ryan Lytle as well. That's where they made that little contact there. Field had that adjustment. I think that will certainly play a role. You saw that twitchiness also with Ryan Lytle in the lead run, and Field in that area, both drivers having a couple little issues. And now it's going to go to the judges after that side-by-side. Did somebody do enough to get the victory here?
All right, and again, just a very aggressive line. Good drive by these guys. Lytle, slide him left for Lytle, right for Field. One more time. They are going at it again. It was unanimous.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if I'm going to make my flight to 3 of contact has been, you know, from mild to wild, to say the least. This is how the bracket is shaping up. Look at that. You got Chelsea Denofa, Frederick Aasbo in the grade 8, Travis Reader and Ryan Tuerck, but with Ryan Tuerck, his car being out, not being able to be fixed, Reader will automatically advance to the 4. You could drop that name down there already if you feel inclined. And then on that right-hand side, we have the one more time of Lytle and Field, Gucci and Stuke. Stuke was at fault with that contact on initiation. They did finish out the rest of the course. Excuse me, Gucci did. Stuke did not. And there is a competition timeout. That is Daniel Stuke's pit. He does need to call a competition timeout. Gucci can't get hands on his car. Looks like they're just aligning that S chassis. And we still have Dylan Hughes, Rome Charpentier, JTP, and Chris Forsberg rounding out our top 16. Ryan, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we said we were going to see a lot of this, right? And that's what happens when you have close action, these cars getting together. There's going to be tons of contact. And as you said, across the continuum, a little bit of contact, rubbing his racing style to, I'm going into the wall. And that we've seen all of the above. And now we're going to be moving on to Dylan Hughes and Rome Charpentier to try and start filling that grade 8 side of the bracket. We've advanced pretty far on the left-hand side. The right-hand side, still a lot of openings here.
Yeah, still buffering on that right-hand side. Dylan Hughes, notably, getting the victory in Orlando, changing up the livery, had the royal purple livery, the purple vehicle in Orlando, and now we got this Permatex fast orange setup. Rome Charpentier keeping it the same. The orange and pink has definitely brought him some luck. His mom said, get rid of the red. He's going for those neon colors. Here we go. Well, speaking of neon, the Type S lights are on underneath the vehicles. Here comes Dylan the Dozer Hughes into that first outside zone. Rome Charpentier, he attacks, gets to the side. So you got kind of an E46 and an E36 into that second outside zone. Dylan Hughes qualifying 3rd yesterday, now here in the competition. Comes in that final outside zone. Dylan Hughes using all of the course. But Rome Charpentier not backing down. You see even a little wave there.
Dylan Hughes using those qualifying skills to his advantage here. It's what he has control over. And Rome Charpentier always progressing. Let's take a look. Hughes, great initiation. Deep to midline and outside zone 1. Here comes Rome. Little ways back, starting to close it. He's on the right line. Hughes, full throttle, big smoke cloud coming across. Now here comes Charpentier through the smoke line. Excellent job anticipating that transition and right in the pocket there to finish up the run.
And look at this, that is 13-12. He's got to fire this thing up, otherwise he might be out. So they got to get out of the way here, boys. Yep, and there he goes. So
Kevin
there it is.
Making it real clear.
Yeah, making it real clear. You got to go. So, yep. So Daniel Stuke. All right, so here's the second half of this battle. Here's Rome Charpentier, Dylan Hughes. Come on, boys. Who's gonna rise to the occasion? Rome Charpentier, I feel like this is a changing of the guard. These kind of these new breed drifters, these young cats who are going for championship. Oh boy, look at that. So as you see, Rome Charpentier, Dylan Hughes, like I said, confidence in his corner. Look at the maxed out angle from Rome Charpentier. Let's see the transition into our final outside zone. How do they handle it? Rome goes and digs deep. Oh my gosh, how many, I'm out of hairs to split, bro. Wow. Another great run by Rome and Hughes.
Yeah, it really was, and Rome is continually progressing in his driver skill, his ability, car setup, all that kind of stuff. We'll take a look at the replay here.
Come on, boy.
Rome out front this time around. Here comes Dylan. Great initiation by Rome. Midline on that first outside zone. Dylan, good crossover there and does a great job modulating the speed to not make contact with Rome. Getting right in the pocket, keeping the pressure on. Coming through this section here, he could have surged and been a little bit tighter in the chase position as Rome did a great job filling that final outside zone.
Let's see what we got here. Side by side is coming.
Taking a look at the side-by-side. You can see maybe a slight advantage there to Hughes in terms of the separation. Hughes really keeping the pressure on. The duration is going to help him there in the comparison in those chase runs. Lead run, Dylan was awesome on that third outside zone, but on his chase, he came up a little bit tight on that last one, but I'm not sure it will be enough to point it in Rome's direction. Judges, another tough battle on your hands. Here we go.
Slide him left for Dylan and Rome Charpentier. Wow. Look at that. Rome gets the win. And that would be Robbie Nishida. Go and throw your headset on there, buddy. We'll wrap out with you. If Chris Yule has anything to say, you can chime in as well. Robbie and contact, right? He utilized his competition timeout. The car was rattling so much after the 10, so him and his team are hoping that it works out. Here we go, Matt Field into that first outside zone. Falcon Tires Corvette. A little bit of hesitation and reservation, not as snappy as we've seen previously from Field, and that allows Ryan Lytle to gain that proximity and really get close here as we come now into that final outside zone. Matt Field gets all the way out there, Ryan Lytle. So that seemed like he was diving in on the inside. Like you saw kind of the lack of angle by Lytle almost going into the side of Field.
I mean, one of the dangers of close chasing is that any adjustment that you make might cause the car to grip up and straighten up. Matt Field looks like he's still not 100% out there. You can see he's kind of at the beginning of outside zone 2. Ryan Lytle was keeping great proximity, maybe a tiny rub there. Great job on the transition back around, but right here, you're gonna see he's gonna lose quite a bit of angle, and then he's gonna try to kind of push the butt of the car out so that he can match the angle with Matt Field, but wasn't really able to do it convincingly there towards the end.
And again, I don't know if you saw on that overhead, that drone shot really highlighted going from 1 to 2. You saw Field kind of had a reservation and didn't get as deep on outside zone 2.
He didn't commit to it.
Did not commit all the way, and that allowed Lytle with that. So that gave him the proximity. He was dancing. He was all up there rubbing elbows, but didn't want to slam dance, and rightfully so. Look at this. Stomp your feet for me, E-Town. Stomp your feet. Let him hear you. Let him hear you across the globe. Look at that. We got the flat flux capacitor waving, keeping it going. Yep. Fans sticking it out, hanging it out. Our boy Jerry Underwood tuning in. Jeremy Underwood watching, Ryan. Our homie Jerry, shout out.
Keeping a game.
Gucci did make his 10-minute allotment with the contact. He pulled out, he's there. Judges want to see this again.
Did he bump him? Is that what they're looking at?
Yeah, he bumped him. He definitely bumped him. But pull him back to the start line.
Here we go, second half of the battle here, Jared. Night is starting to fall.
Here we go, second half of this battle. Ryan Lytle out front. Look at that, keeping the Falcon tires warm. The Forge Star wheels go round on the corners of Matt Field's vehicle. Ryan Lytle got those Heritage wheels wrapped in GT radial. Lytle out front. Matt Field in the chase position. Matt Field in that contention for the championship, second in points. Into that first outside zone goes Lytle. Matt Field, you can see him ripping up into that second outside zone, dropping in. Lytle maxing out the angle. How's he gonna handle this transition? Into that final outside zone. Great job by Ryan Lytle. Matt Field up in the mix. Ryan, this should be pretty interesting. Let's see what we got. Let's take a look at it.
Lytle coming down, charging into that first outside zone. Starts deep and goes a little bit shallower line, but here comes Field through that smoke line. Great job by Lytle to get in the middle part of that outside zone. That's allowing Field to tuck up on the inside. Coming across this inside clip now is Field crossing over. Here it is one more time before we get to that inside clip. Through the smoke line is Field. He's on the right line. He's keeping the pressure on through outside zone 3. That was something that we saw Lytle cut the line a little bit more aggressively there. Is that going to be the point of difference? Here's the side-by-side. Great job by the production team here. There's that little love tap. There's Field in the chase. Now let's watch the comparison into outside zone 3. This was a deciding factor for Robbie Nishida's vote last time around. You could see Lytle right there trying to get to the same angle and line as Field, but really unable to do that.
Slide him left for Lytle, right for Matt Field. Remember, Matt Field in the hunt for the championship, and Matt Field for him and Chris Forsberg. Stuke leaves the start line. Ken Gucci, clean start. Let's see what we got. Into that first outside zone. Where is Gucci going? A big mistake there by Kenshiro Gucci. Daniel Stuke now into that second outside zone. Unfortunately for Gucci on initiation, he had that major mistake and did not get to that first outside zone. Now you have to think incomplete versus a mistake. Was that an incomplete or was that a mistake? Was he offline? Because you have to think Stuke went off course. Is that a complete straighten by Gucci? So again, let's battle. Let's battle, but let's kind of dissect.
It's going to come down to exactly what you're talking about. Was that an incomplete? That's the only way to compare the leads, because Daniel Stuke does have an incomplete from the previous run. And clearly this is a mistake from Gucci, but he keeps angle in the car. I mean, it's a massive mistake for sure. He just didn't anticipate the initiation properly. I don't see how the judges can give that an incomplete though. It's just a really big mistake in the chase position. But I mean, it's not, in my opinion, it's not an incomplete.
Yeah, that was a really poor initiation, and we saw that yesterday even with Bogovic. Sorry, that is incorrect. It was supposed to be just going through. I understand. Just FYI, that was supposed to be unanimous, and that was Ken Gucci. Ken Gucci gets the win. Go Justin Pawlak and Chris Forsberg. JTP out front, that Falcon Tires Ford Mustang. Chris Forsberg initiates a little earlier than JTP. We'll see if that pays off. Now transitioning into that second outside zone. JTP, big angle. Chris Forsberg not as deep. Now he finds himself in the middle of that second outside zone. Let's see how they transition here into that final outside zone. Chris Forsberg paces him. Looks like he was just on the wrong side of his vehicle, and Justin Pawlak all the way in that final outside zone. On the transition, you saw Chris kind of keep it out on the left a little too long. Maybe found himself on the wrong side of the stang.
Let's take a look at Pawlak's initiation here. Nice job in tandem. Forsberg on a slightly tighter line there at the beginning. He does have to back off, make an adjustment going into outside zone 2. He's on a tighter line here. Then he gets back on the right line with Pawlak. Pawlak smoking him up, coming through this inside clip. Forsberg surging. Oh, a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact there, and that's what's going to cause Forsberg to get offline and not finish as strong. Had he avoided that, that's one of the things to be weary of in the chase position here, is not getting caught off guard and making a mistake that then leaves you getting walked on by the lead driver on that last section of the course, because it's just so fast out here.
Yeah, that was an interesting turn of events there for Forsberg. He's so masterful at kind of just timing it just right, but it seemed that on that transition he impeded with Pawlak and had to take that hit. Now, keep in mind, JTP nor Chris Forsberg have utilized a competition timeout Not needed, not necessary. Here we go. Chris Forsberg will lead. JTP, Justin Pawlak giving chase. Here comes Forsberg. NOS energy drink. All new Nissan Z on GT Radio tires. He knows he needs to throw down. He does just that. Big gangster initiation, but JTP, watch him kind of surge up here. He does that. Lacking the angle, but does gain the proximity. Now Forsberg into that second outside zone. Into that final outside zone goes Forsberg. Here goes Justin Pawlak, and oh, Pawlak goes to the wall, but he salvages it. That could have been, oh boy.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
I think Pawlak saw an opening there. I believe he knew that Chris made a mistake on inside clip number 1 that he was trying to capitalize on, but he knew he was going to have to go for the gusto here. Forsberg, on the other hand, knew he had to push hard, knowing that he might have made a mistake as well, and the judges looking on that unkindly. Forsberg missing the beginning of outside zone 2. Pawlak has to make an adjustment. Does a pretty good job at that. Now coming through this smoke line here. Here comes Pawlak. A lot of speed in this last section. Taps the wall. Keeps angle in the car, but the attitude does get adjusted a little bit. And man, that was a banger right there. Tons of smoke still looming on course as we see Forsberg enter outside zone number 1. Misses the beginning of outside zone 2, and Pawlak is forced to kind of make a quick adjustment there. You have to see if the judges give some leniency to that. And then through this final inside clip, 1 and only, here comes Pawlak, angles up into the wall, and gets through the finish line, and another little tap towards the end.
Yeah, that was a real interesting line, and then point. Here is the BC Racing side-by-side. BC Racing official suspension of Formula Drift, go for gold. Looking pretty similar there, actually. Forsberg, obviously, with that contact. Justin really deep there. Forsberg, a bit shallow. How we doing out there, E-Town? Can you hear me? Make some noise. Slide up left for JTP or right for Chris Forsberg, and JTP gets the win. JTP, Denofa's your number 1 qualifier, excuse me. Denofa will lead, and Aasbo will give chase. Chelsea Denofa, Pennzoil, Mustang RTR Spec 5D. Frederick Aasbo chase him down on the Rockstar Toyota GR Supra. Look at that, both these guys lifted some tire, coming into that second outside zone. How are they gonna handle Chelsea Denofa? Frederick Aasbo. Look how deep Chelsea Denofa is, and Frederick Aasbo, we saw him rubbing door with Bakchis. Can he do it here with Denofa without disrupting and making it violent? Coming to that final outside zone, Denofa and Aasbo. Woo! Make some noise, E-Town!
Aasbo on that transition after inside clip 1, man, he has just got that mastered. Unbelievable. Great way to start the Great 8. Look at Denofa, almost at the edge of the course. Nice timing there by Frederick Aasbo. Could have maybe been on a little bit deeper line, but super close in proximity. That's an area that Denofa and his spotter can adjust when they go to their chase run. Nice transition back around. Denofa in the deepest part of the zone, nearly on that outside zone 3. Incredible run. Take a look at it again here as Aasbo not giving any room on that transition and just maybe going a little bit shallower than he should have if we're looking at just trying to pick apart the run. That's an opportunity for Denofa. But the duration of proximity, the matching of the angle is phenomenal from Frederick Aasbo.
Really liked the transition by Chelsea Denofa in the lead. When he transitioned to that final outside zone, that was risky. That was really risky, and you know, he saw Adam LZ kind of check up, and again, that's what I felt like Adam wanted to do, and Denofa executed it properly. So here we are, Frederick Aasbo, again, your points leader, and your defending champion, the Rockstar Toyota GR Supra coming into that first outside zone. Chelsea Denofa, you saw him shallow, but then digs deep. Now let's see. Can Denofa go deeper and mimic it? Yes, he does. So look at that. You can see he's actually deeper than Frederick Aasbo, which actually might help him. Let's see the transition. Here we go. Well, look at that. Gives him a little bit of room here. And Denofa, you see him take a little bit of angle out of it to gain that proximity. Let's go to the drone. Just go straight to the overhead. Come on. Let's just go. I mean, come on. Who's moving on? Aasbo or Denofa? Remember, Reader will have his bye run. Here we go to that overhead.
When we get to outside zone 2, and you see Denofa do this right here and enter at the same place that Aasbo did, in my mind, I said, you know what? he's going to win this. He's going to win this. But right there, he falls off a little bit and has to play catch up, and then he kind of surges forward. He made it look good, but now he's given the judges something to say that was a mistake, right? And now it's going to be weighing those mistakes against each other and seeing if the pendulum can swing in one direction or the other. But how he approaches after transition to outside zone 2 is the exactly correct way that you want to get into outside zone 2 with the lead driver that's giving you that line.
Yeah, some really great driving by two. I mean, Aasbo is a champion. Chelsea will be a champion. When is it? Is it this year? You talked about this earlier, Ryan, and it bears repeating. When is Chelsea Denofa gonna peak? Hold my beer, #1 qualifier. Hey, what's he gonna do? How is he gonna show up? How is he gonna back that up? Aasbo's chase run. Showed up in outside zone 2. Oh, do we have a result? Here we go. Sliding left for Denofa, right for Frederick Aasbo. 1, 2, and 3. Chelsea Denofa gets the win and takes down our points leader and defending champion. Backdrop here, that iconic Raceway Park logo. Really cool backdrop. Looks like a video game out here. Looks like you're actually playing Tuerck Drift. And we are ready to send cars as Matt Field will chase down Ken Gushi. Ken Gushi, who qualified 7th, and Matt Field, who qualified 15th. Here comes Ken Gushi out of the gate. See if he can better that initiation he just had against Stuke. Unfortunately, a botched initiation. Now very dialed right now is Ken Gushi. That Monty's. Ken Gushi Motorsports, Toyota GR86 on Nexen tires. Now coming into that final outside zone, Gushi. Field cannot be shaken and cross that finish line. Straight forward, no funny business, nothing wacky, you know, kind of, oh, it wasn't incomplete, it was kind of on the inside. That was a straightforward battle.
Well, Gushi trying to put a stamp on it here this weekend. Breakout performance for him in this new vehicle, finally getting it together. Going up against Matt Field here in the grade 8. Field keeping the pressure on, entering in outside zone #2. Nice job there by Ken Gushi out front, drawing a smooth line through that first hash mark on the inside clip #1, just at the edge of outside zone 3 as Field falls off just a tiny bit towards that last section of outside zone 3. Now we will switch things up as Matt Field goes to the lead.
There are the signature yellow lights of Matt Field. E-Town, how we doing out there? Make some noise for all the drivers. Wait. E-Town, make some noise for all the drivers. Let them hear you across the globe. That is more like it. Here comes Matt Field. Got a clean start. The smoke is definitely lingering here in this Coliseum. Matt Field in that first outside zone. Putting it where it should be. Oh boy, Gushi flirting with the contact, but no, does not. Past that inside clip. Gushi is the red shadow. Oh, and he dives in and grips up just a bit too much. Oh, you lost something, bro. Your door? Where'd that thing go? All right, I'm gonna head out. The door, knocking on Field's door. Let's take a look. Where did it go?
Look at Matt Field's lead run right there on the outside zone. It was right at the edge. Just a great crossover by Gushi.
Oh, there it goes.
Taps the door of Matt Field, knocks it off, goes bye-bye. Really aggressive run from Gushi. You gotta appreciate that, but he does get a little bit tight on that inside clip. Transitions in a weird place that caused him to be on the inside there. And it's all due to aggressive driving, which we love, but if you can pull it off with precision, even better.
Man, Matt Field, look at this. Missing a door. Just, that thing just obliterated. Just like Thanos snapped his fingers and it disappeared. All right, well, that's why you see the door bar, the exposed safety equipment, the Momo C, keeping them safe. And the door bars, you can see. And there's the skin. Whew. Great looking car, Goosh. His brand new Toyota GR86 being debuted in Atlanta, making it this far. Like the repeat pattern of that 86. And here's the BC Racing side by side. You can see Gushi leading on the left. That's where the contact was made. field information. Gucci, they have that proximity. Fairly similar. Gucci a little bit closer there on outside zone 2. Watch the transition here, though. Gucci kind of comes shallow.
Yeah, Matt Field's lead on the outside zone 1. Gucci's transition to outside zone 3. Those two components together, is it enough?
And there it is.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, unfortunately, Gucci knocked out. A great effort there. Ford vehicle, and excited to see who comes out on top. Who's going against Matt Field? Will it be the BMW or the Ford Mustang? Matt Field waits in the wings. The Type S lights are on. This is the gauntlet, and has proven to be quite that. It has absolutely been, you know, the equalizer, the track, you know, the man in synchronicity with his machine, and then those two teams going against each other, and the track seems to be just an absolute widowmaker. Here we go. JTP will lead. Rome Charpentier giving chase. Who's going on to go against Matt Field in the final 4? JTP, aggressive initiation. Yo, but Rome right there. The green and pink shadow loses some ground, but now JTP all up in that second outside zone. That's Rome's move. You see this drop like that, just slide into those DMs, and now that final outside zone, JTP, big match. Didn't have to bounce off the wall as we saw with him and Chris Forsberg. You know, I think coming out unscathed from this track is a victory in itself.
Yeah, I think that is a very big accomplishment. Taking a look at Justin Pawlak on his initiation, he's starting to get a bit more aggressive here. This time he's given a real big flick. It's still a straight line approach. Grabs the e-brake into outside zone 1, what you want to be on throttle into the zone, but Rome makes a perfect adjustment to it, does a great job right here. He's on the right line, he's keeping the pressure on.
Yes.
Great job avoiding JTP, a little bit of a mistake there.
Yeah, by Rome.
And also JTP, not a lot of angle before the transition.
Yeah. And
that is that's going to affect the chase driver a little bit. So I think the judges will take that into account. But
they did. I saw thumbs up from Brian Eggers. Says, yeah, exactly. Okay. He spotted it. So yes, he's in agreement. So I was looking at Rome. I thought that's where he said the mistake. But Rome's mistake was only caused a chain reaction, right? Every action has a reaction, and that was the case for JTP as he failed, right? Like transition.
The transition just wasn't clean, and there was a kind of low angle through there, and then Rome had to make an adjustment, which is what you saw from him in the attitude of his car, changing right before inside clip 1.
Here we go, Rome Charpentier out front, JTP chasing him down. Rome Charpentier, look at that flick, little Manji initiation, but JTP adjusts so well. You see that counter steer, and now coming into that second outside zone. Rome very deep into there. JTP, look at throwing some more angles, stepped out. Let's see how they handle the last zone. And JTP throws it in hard. And unfortunately, JTP makes a mistake. Was that due to anything that Rome did? Let's take a look at it again. Rome Charpentier maybe moving closer to a podium.
1, 2. So a 3-staged initiation. The judges really like to see a max of 2. And he kind of moved around on the course a little bit. We'll have to see how that plays. Now, the biggest part of this run really is this last section here. Pawlak, really good job on the proximity, but angles up massively. As you can see, Rome was on the brakes there in outside zone 3, but the angling up happened prior to that. And he's probably left foot braking there to kind of control the car. So quickly going to the judges here.
Slide him left for Rome or right for Justin Pawlak, and quickly Rome Charpentier.
In the final 4.
Nitto Tires, Travis Reader. Reader Motorsports, Link Engine Management. BMW on GT Radials. Now coming into that first outside zone. Chelsea Denofa, Reader hanging with this Mustang. Look at Reader. Into the outside zone. There goes Chelsea, there goes Reader. Like I said, these guys do a lot of drifting together in Portland before Chelsea moved down to Florida, and right now it is showing. Look at Reader, giving her the beans.
You think Reader wants a podium tonight?
Yeah. This is seriously a bragging right. I know these guys hung out last night, they were partying, but now the party's on the track.
Well, Denofa once again getting right to the deepest part at the beginning of that zone, fades to the midline. Here comes Reader, a little bit less angle, but on the right line. Now starting to move forward. Chelsea Denofa very smooth, a little bit of a flub there from Reader in the chase position, and then right here as well. Not as deep as you want him to be, but he does make that adjustment on the last section of outside zone 3. Here it is again. Reader coming up on the inside. Denofa was deep in that zone at the beginning, ended up in the middle, so still a good job there. Gets into outside zone 2, nice and early. Stays there, very consistent. Look at the front wheels, full lock right here. And you can see Reader moving around in the back just a little bit, low angle right there, but still a lot of pressure. So Denofa is obviously going to know what to do in the chase, and Reader has to go for broke here in the lead position. You got to put down that high 90s qualifying run right here to have a chance against Denofa.
You want me to make a claim right now?
Claim it.
I'm saying that Chelsea Denofa is going to give Travis Reader a door zapper, aka a little tire tattoo.
Okay.
That's what I'm claiming right now, just to make his presence felt and say like, hey man, you're doing good, but I'm still here. Like I'm feeling that because again, these guys, they're homies. You know, we've done demos in St. Louis together. Travis has driven a Ford Mustang for the RTR camp. They've had some fun, and I think this is just we'll see.
Well, I would tell you the one thing I would say to that is that's fine.
All right, we'll see. Travis Reader, he gets a bit of, and speaking of a jump, that's a restart. All right, so that's not fine. That is a restart. Chelsea Denofa gonna utilize this restart here. He's got the Type S double mohawk on that roof line. The boss man's watching at home. Shout out to the Gittins. Captain Clutch Kick, he's home with his little ones. His wife is watching the comfort of his couch. You know, he's cheering them on. Chelsea Denofa. And Travis Reader already back to the start line. Here's Chelsea Denofa pulling up. Restart enacted. Yeah, Denofa is guaranteed a podium. He qualified first, so if he loses here, he gets third place. Reader needs to win in order to get a podium. All right, here we go. Reader leads out. We got a clean start. Coming to that first outside zone. Reader throws it in. Here goes Chelsea Denofa. Big angle there. Chelsea Denofa looks like he's falling back. Look at he's shallow on the line. And here comes Reader into that transition, into that final outside zone. And look at Travis Reader. Can he take down Chelsea Denofa?
Did Travis Reader
take down Chelsea Denofa, your #1 qualifier?
Oh,
it seemed that Chelsea was shallow on the line.
Look at this outside zone 1 from Reader. Painted it right there, and Denofa goes wide. Has to make an adjustment here. He has to angle up. You can see he's manipulating the car, trying to get back in the mix here. He's on a little bit of a tighter line. Now he's right next to Travis Reader through this inside clip. Makes the correction there on inside clip #1. Shallow angle as he gets the butt of the car out. Quite a few mistakes in the chase position from Chelsea Denofa as Travis Reader does what he needs to do in the lead position. Is he going to the finals? Wow.
Travis Reader moves potentially one step closer to a guaranteed podium. So watch this. This is the truth serum. Chelsea goes deeper on there, shallow on that. Not even part of the equation. Like
now,
you know,
now he's part of the equation.
But watch this correction here on the front clip. Rep. See how you like give it a quick little
and that right
wiggle.
That right there was the big one. Dang.
Wow, Chelsea Denofa, your #1 qualifier, 7th coming into this round of competition. Travis Reader, he is 8th, and now slide him left for Denofa, right for Travis Reader gets the win. Reader, and Denofa locks in 3rd place. Denofa is 3rd place. Reader's going to the final. Chase, Falcon Tires, Borla, Exhaust, Drift Cave, Corvette, the Beast from the Bay. Rome Charpentier got that Manji entry once again into that first outside zone, not phased. He took down one Falcon vehicle, can he take down another? And look at that. Oh, Matt Field applying the pressure. Those yellow headlights are in his rearview mirror. But Charpentier not affected. And looks like Matt Field potentially pulling him kind of out of the way right there. Want to get that overhead shot and see what transpired in that final outside zone.
Well, Matt Field seems like he's fine now, but Rome Charpentier is on one for sure. Let's take a look at the initiation. He gets right there, both wheels in that first outside zone. Field mimicking the transition, pretty good job. Could have been a little bit deeper at the beginning. Now he's right there, but he has a little bit less angle than Rome. So this is an area that Rome can take into account on his chase run through that now this is much better from Field. That right there was better, but he falls off towards the end.
Was that caused by a slowing though? That's kind of what, you know, I mean, got to look at it again, but just at first take, I don't know, I thought there was gonna be contact. All right, who's going against Reader? Here we are in that Type S Final Four, the final side of that Final Four bracket. Matt Sopa on the start line. We're ready to send it here at E-Town. Who's going against Reader in the finals? Denofa locks up third place. Field or Charpentier? Field now leads. He's gonna throw down a gangster one. Filling all of that first outside zone, now transitioning into the second. Look at that, drawing the line. And Rome is right there. Watch that front clip, right past it. Oh, Field comes blazing into it. Digs deep, Rome a little bit off, but again, that overhead view. Look at the tiger stripes on Field's door. That's where it got shot off earlier against Gucci. That car has seen so much just absolute bashing.
Here it is, Matt Field on initiation. Rome right there with him. Good transition, nice mimic. And he maintains that proper line right there with Matt Field. Leaving outside zone 2, through the inside clip. Slightly less angle there from Rome, but just for a second. And we're definitely gonna need the overhead here for sure. Lots of smoke up there. Here we go again, Rome. Back on throttle with Matt Field, coming over the crossover here. Nice job getting into that second outside zone with him. Good proximity as Field leads the way. Very smooth and consistent through that inside clip, through the smoke line. Here comes Rome, surging forward. Field, a little bit of an adjustment, and through the finish line they go.
Taking a look at this BC Racing side by side. Ryan, what stands out to you?
Well, it's definitely a close run. You know, Matt Field was a little bit shallow on the entrance to outside zone 2. Might have seen a little bit more consistency there from Rome in that equal position. You have to wonder how they're gonna judge that last outside zone 3 for Field in the chase, and whether or not Rome had an equal or better run than Field in the lead.
Who is going to the finals? Unbelievable. Slide him left for Matt Field or right for Rome Charpentier. One more time, and Rome Charpentier. So, we are.
So I have a feeling that Rome does know what it's gonna take to beat Matt Field.
To unlock that Pandora's box. And here comes Rome Charpentier out front, Garagistic BMW. Gets all the way out there, draws that line. Field gets into formation, gets into that pocket. And that's something that he was lacking a little bit on that first battle, but now he seems to find that secret sauce. And now transitions past into that final outside zone. A little hesitation, but just barely let him get past. Love to see that overhead shot. Let's see how that landed. That second outside zone, great job by Rome up front and good chase job, but I want to see that second half of this battle.
Yeah, Rome is certainly starting to nail those lead runs. And he's got that kind of unorthodox approach. He comes from that inside line, gets right to the deepest part in the middle part of outside zone 1, but a great crossover there by Matt Field. Little bit less angle, tiny bit, but great job on the line. Moving around a little bit, good crossover here. Different approach on the transition, not wanting to get caught up and make contact with Rome. Rome does a pretty good job in that third outside zone, so pretty even so far in my mind, as now they switch things up. Matt Field will go to the lead and Rome will chase him down.
I have a feeling Matt's just gonna come absolutely uncorked here. The beasts are in the bay. The claws, the teeth, they are out. Hush falls over the crowd as we get prepared. Matt Field, Rome Charpentier, who's going to the finals against Reader. Matt Field slingshots out of the start chicane, flicks it in nastily into that first outside zone. Now in that second outside zone. Dialing in, look at Rome inching closer and closer to Matt Field. Pretty tit for tat compared to that first run. Have to see that angle. You talked about the nuances there, Ryan. How are they gonna handle that last and final outside zone? Rem said he's having fun. Matt Field, look at that. Deep is Rome Charpentier. Oh my gosh. Wow. Ryan, I mean, look at Reader. He's in the finals. Rome, he is making a serious attempt at who's now leading the points in the championship at our halfway point.
Yeah, I mean, I
that's
think
a testimonial.
The way these battles are playing out, the judges are going to have to make these decisions on the most minorest of mistakes, so to speak. Great job by Field on that first outside zone. Equally good crossover there by Rome Charpentier right into the pocket. Beautifully executed, and he's stable, very stable through that inside clip and all through outside zone too. And he chooses that more, I think that dangerous line coming up on the inside, staying with Matt Field through that outside zone. So close. Margins are so thin here.
Gosh. I mean, if the needle goes one way, it's by 0.0001%.
Yeah.
I mean, this is where we're getting to the granular detail of angle, of proximity, of transition.
We're at 4K resolution.
We're at 20K, bro. Like I could see the tick on the back of a dog, man. This is insane. Side by sides are coming. Hey, round of applause for both these guys as we wait to see who's gonna move on.
Jeez, you know, it's like I'm trying to point out, you know, I mean, maybe Field a little bit less angle there. A little bit less stability,
but look at the separation there.
And then a little bit of separation, yeah.
Rome goes a little deeper.
Oh my
on
gosh.
That chase.
Like, it's so hard to point out faults. I mean, it's going to be by the thinnest of margins, right?
And even if there is a verdict, dude, even if there is a verdict, it's the thinnest of margins. But I'm seeing it looks like it's going to be unanimous. Let's slide them. I believe so. Slide him left for Matt Field, right for Rome Charpentier.
Oh
and look at this, Rome Charpentier is going to the finals. Rome Charpentier is going to the finals. Matt Field in the finals here in New Jersey. Round 4 of the Formula Jet Pro Championship. Rome Charpentier goes to that first outside zone. Travis Reader in tow. Back quite a bit. Can he gain that ground? Travis Reader lacking a lot of angle, but Rome Charpentier puts it right in the crease. Now Travis Reader gains the ground. Lacking that angle again. We talked about how Rome Charpentier mimicked the angle of Matt Field. Now coming to that final outside zone. Here comes Rome Charpentier. Travis Reader on the inside. Contact. Houston, we have a problem.
We got a little bump there.
Bump it up. All right, let's roll the tape. Roll it back, the tail of the tape. Contact was made. And I believe that Rome has not called his competition timeout.
Big angle by Rome, a little bit deeper was Reader. I think Reader was anticipating that Rome was gonna be deeper in that first zone, but then the adjustment was made there by Rome going into that second outside zone. He got in early, Reader got in a bit late with a little bit less angle. Now in this final outside zone, Reader could be a little bit deeper, starting to make that adjustment. That's where the tap takes place, and then he flies off to the side, and Reader goes four-wheeling into the grass.
Yeah, Rome, watch this contact here. It was kind of, I think the wheel grabbed because it went left. So again, here's some 2, transition into 3. Watch the attitude of the car. So here's Rome going. Yeah, and it looks like he caught the tread and it kicked it left. Because you can see in the cockpit, whoa. Oh, here's a good angle.
Yeah, this is where it's the most apparent. And you'll see that Reader's left foot braking here. He's trying to slow down. He makes contact and then he shoots off to the right. And that's before the finish line, right? So that's going to be part of the judged element or elements that the judges are going to have to look at. Notwithstanding any damage to Rome, this is, I think, for me, this is the best shot that we have from the overhead, because you see the separation after the contact. Watch right here. Boom. And then Reader's going to fly off to the side a little bit, almost down to the middle of the track, and that's before the finish line. So that's an important consideration for the judges as we re-rack.
All right, talking to Rome, seeing what's going on here. And the car hasn't moved, so it looks like he's restarting. Just make sure, and want to make sure we don't put any. Travis Reed already on his phone. Is he gramming already, bro? Hashtag going for Carbon, going for the win. FTW. I know Reader's family has been very supportive. His grandma cheering him on. His family, they have been supportive of him since day one. The Reader family always in his corner. And jokingly, I've always called him Travis Reader, the Walmart greeter. Travis Reader, the speed reader. All about words per minute. But right now, Travis Reader is showing you that he is a potential winner. And yeah, go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, no, and I just wanted to say, like, we haven't spoken about it a lot, but it's been very apparent if you've been watching. See this light strip right up here on top? Yeah. That's the deceleration
right above
strip.
The windscreen.
Right up, yeah, and it basically goes off every single time consistently in those decel zones. Now, if we see it happening outside those decel zones, we know that a driver is doing it improperly, and we did not see that from Rome there. So I think that was just Reader coming up a little bit too aggressively on a tighter line, making that contact before the finish line, and getting shot off to the side. So we have to inspect Rome's vehicle, make sure his car is ready to go, and then we'll get to the second half of this battle.
All right, so there you go, Travis Reader in his cockpit, and we are finding out that Travis Reader is at fault. The delay here looks like Rome will have to be towed back. So Rome Charpentier, again, neither of them have called their competition timeout. So Reader is saying that he's not going to call his competition timeout, and he would have to call it because he was at fault. Rome can't get hands on his car without utilizing that competition timeout. You know what? Here we are at round 4, but let's backtrack to round 3, where Reader went against another great friend of his, Dylan Hughes, who eventually got the win in the wet. What a crazy event it was, round 3 in Orlando.
NGK makes ignition coils. Why? Because we prefer a running partner that can keep pace. We know ignition, and since our spark plugs don't run alone, we put some of our energy and expertise into making better coils. NGK ignition coils are engineered to OE durability and performance. And because we race to win, we improve the design, testing, and validation of our coils for better performance. NGK spark plugs and coils, better together.
Rockstar energy drink. This Matt Wall, the twin turbo 350Z. Tanner fast going through the paces. Solid line here. Great angle. Woo, good initiation from Dot. Did you see that fake flip entry? Just gangster right there.
Great job right there by Aasbo, but look at Odie. Bakchis diving right in on the attacking position now.
Ryan Tuerck really needs to show up. He went off course. Tightens it up to the front flip. As is Freddie. The Norwegian hammer gets sweated by Denofa.
And then he just keeps on going past. And Frederick Aasbo fills all that outside zone. Michael, that's a right there.
Look at him roll tide. Here we go. Final outside zone line. Pretty straight outside zone. Frederick Aasbo right there. And now bring her on that final flip. Approach, pull some tire up.
So qualifying playing a role here in Long Beach.
When I'm flying, I put my helmet on, my visor down, my mask up. You don't know who I am. Whether I'm African American, Asian American, Hispanic, white, male or female. You just know I'm an American airman kicking your butt. I'm General C.Q. Brown Jr. Come join us.
In my 1,000 horsepower competition drift car, I use Royal Purple XPR 5W50. XPR is specifically formulated to increase horsepower and torque in high performance and racing engines. And its revolutionary Cinerlic additive technology and zinc phosphorus fortified formulation provides the highest level of protection against heat and wear. The new 550 is all killer, no filler. It has better high temperature performance than any other 2050 engine oil. The result is a performance oil that protects like no other, utilizing superior base oils and additives. It's what sets Royal Purple apart from the rest, and what is also transferred down to their HPS high performance street oil, which is what I run in my daily drifter. So from here to here, all you get is extreme performance from the synthetic experts. Royal Purple.
Well, look at this. A crowd surrounds Rome Charpentier's vehicle. You can see down in the bottom right-hand corner. And they got some real issues here. So this is kind of a Ryan Tuerck situation, not to the degree of Ryan Tuerck's vehicle, but the contact, Travis Reader goes into Rome Charpentier. He spins out. Car unable to start here in this NGK competition timeout. So he hasn't called a comp timeout. This is a 10-minute allotment to get the car running. And then, so that if he needs more time, he can call that competition timeout. So again, this supercharged LS.
Thank you.
Rhett, Nickel, what do you know? What's the sense?
Well, Rome, we have Michael Essa down here. We have a lot of different team members from all over. What exactly is the problem? Do you know?
So it wasn't from the actual impact. Once we got hit, we spun around. Once we started going backwards is when the problem started. because we were going backwards, it locked at the motor, and then the motor spun backwards. So once the motor spun backwards, it sounded like marbles in the motor. And now it will not start. Okay. So it was from the impact as we went like to the left, and then we hit the rumble strip, and that jump is what put us backwards. And at that point, my foot slipped off the clutch because I was kind of in the air. And at that moment, we landed backwards on the car. So we had so much RPM going forward that once it turned around and stopped and started going backwards, it was done. It did not sound good at all. And we tried to get it started, and it stays at like 200 RPM, 300 RPM, and then just shuts itself back off.
So what's your assessment? We have the 10-minute clock. We're running down to 5.5 minutes, and you still have your 5 left. Do you have enough time?
Well, I don't know what it is. We think it's a mechanical, like bent valves, something major, because it's not supposed to sound like marbles. So, and it's supposed to rev, when you crank it, it cranks different, but you can listen to it get stuck. So I'm not sure what is going on.
Rome, crank it over for like 5 seconds straight.
Okay.
Just.
Michael Essa is over here offering some advice. Walking around the car, he's now in the rear underneath the car. And when you get someone like Michael Essa offering advice, you listen.
Crank it over, crank it in. Crank, 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 crank. Just hold the starter button down. Hold it down.
He is. The starter skips. He's holding it down and skipping. The starter is skipping. Don't do anything.
Wow, that does not sound healthy.
Okay.
So this is in the 10 minutes, I believe.
It may not be 100%.
Yeah, it smells like fuel and exhaust, but it's not. I think the valves are probably bent.
Rome Charpentier, this is the first battle here, Ryan. Rome Charpentier leading.
This is how it all happened, right? And obviously, we heard from Rome that the damage that he's experiencing was not from the hit itself, but from rolling backwards while the car was in gear. Now you can see no decel light on, which is the front red light from Rome, and that's the reason why the judges gave fault to Travis Reader. Now in this situation, because we are in the finals, the competition timeout that he would have to take on the 5, there could be a reasonable extension of that because it is the finals. But if the car is unrepairable, then there will have to be a result to be made.
Yeah, just got to call it, right? So because it is the finals. And I think you know, we've seen this unfold and transpire, but.
Yeah, we'll put the valve cover back on.
We have another 5 after this? Yes, we do.
Okay.
Love hearing the banter here. You can hear the chatter, inquiring, seeing what's going on.
3 minutes left before the 5.
Out of technicians, you know, you got a few people here working on the vehicles. You know, Michael Essa comes from the BMW world, but obviously a lot of these guys are well versed in a variety of engines. LS is pretty straightforward, but everybody it really depends on setup. You know, from LS to, you know, Papadakis working with the factory Toyota engine that came, or, you know, obviously some will scrutinize that, but the factory engine that came in that Supra, him massaging that thing, you know, Papadakis working with 4-cylinder turbos, creating all that horsepower that's underneath Tuerck's hood, you know, the VR engine, you know, Jerry Yang, and then obviously with Forsberg running that VR as well. You know, you talk about Matt Field and what he's done with his supercharged LSs and as well as Odi Bakchis. So there's quite a few variety of technicians depending on, but right now, you know, you got two LS powered BMWs on the wing of Rome Charpentier. It says "Give Moderns Hell," and that's pretty much just his motto. You know, just kind of taking that old school BMW E36, relatively speaking. Yeah, it looks like we got him. We got our patient on the table, and Ryan, I see you pulling up the rule book here, and you're talking about extending it even further than the 10, the 5 comp timeout, and then even further than that. But that's all pending if it is actually repairable?
We have the ability to make adjustments to this time allocation if it's the final battle, because for the betterment of the sport, we want to see those two guys battle. However, if the competition staff, in working in conjunction with the team, can verify that the car is unrepairable in a reasonable amount of time, then they would have to make a call, and the in-competition committee would have to make a call about the result, because basically the car's just not going to be fixed in 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 50 minutes. So it looks like they're trying to bump start the car, and at some point, after a reasonable amount of time, there may have to be a decision that's made based on all of the available information that we had. And the fact that Travis Reader is at fault, that leans in the direction of Rome Charpentier. However, everybody, including all of us up here, want to see those guys finish the battle.
Yeah, most definitely. And that thing is running? I'm hearing a rev there. Whoa, look at this. So, is he ready to go? The hood is there. I mean, it went from marbles to collecting all your marbles. Give Modern's hell. The cheers erupt. Look at this. All hands on deck. Travis Reader waiting in the wings. And now you have to think that Reader is at a deficit, but where did he hit? So we are in the 5-minute allotment.
Okay. No, hey, hold on. Guys, don't worry about the hood. Get fuel in the car. Make sure it's topped up. Hold on. Oh, hey. Maybe he hit it when
So a bit of kind of clarity on what's going on. So obviously the car is running. Let's lay out and turn that up.
Lights are on now. Lights are on. Hold on. Okay, we got power again.
He's putting some fuel in the car.
Okay, I think we're good. Let's push it one more time. We'll be good. 1, 2, 3.
Wait.
Hold on. We're good. Hold on. Hey, what? We have fuel.
Push the car, bump start it, no hood. He says he's got fuel, he's good to go. All right, so this is the second half of the battle. He's headed to the start line, everybody. Here goes Rome Charpentier. After he spun out backwards, sounds like marbles in his engine, gets a push, and now he's headed to the start line to go against Reader for the second half. Now, again, the contact was made, he spins out, he goes backwards. Where that contact was made, we'll have to roll that tape back. That got very interesting, and why he was stuck. Like you said, the RPM's very interesting turn of events. Now, we will see Travis Reader out front and Rome Charpentier in this chase position. Brian, what's update?
If you want your new favorite driver, Rome is definitely one to be your candidate, because honestly, like he knows the rules. The car seemed like it was unfixable. You know, it's rattling around. It sounds like marbles. And our staff was telling us, our competition staff said that this thing seems like it's screwed.
It's smoked.
And if he wanted to sit it out, there would be a case for him that he would get the win because Reader was at fault. The moment that he chooses to go to the line, he is risking all of that. And to me, that is a high water mark of a true competitor.
Yep, yeah, and we talked about the camaraderie, the awareness of, you know, this guy's a ripper, that guy's a ripper, and looking forward to seeing competition, and that's what we're going to see. We're going to see the second half of this. So, Ryan, if you can recount what exactly happened, I believe we're going to have to see that first run once again after we complete the second run. But the contact was made, you said, before the finish line, causing the spin out.
Yeah, before the finish line. I don't think it's going to result in an incomplete. but it is going to be a big deduction for Travis Reader. Obviously, he was at fault. It pushed Rome off course. That's how we got to where we are now. So I would say, all things being equal, there's a deficit there. There's the rest of the run to look at, to analyze, but that portion of it was a big part. There was contact made prior to the finish line that caused Reader to fall off and go into the center of the track.
Now the question is, how much horsepower, how healthy is that engine, right?
Who
I mean,
knows?
he talks about marbles. That's not exactly ideal. Car goes backwards. It's running, but how well and how healthy is it? So now here we go for what could be the final time here in New Jersey, round 4, the Type S Gauntlet presented by AutoZone. Travis Reader, Rome Charpentier, who gets their first ever Formula Drift Pro victory? Reader or Charpentier here in New Jersey at E-Town, making history. Reader will lead, Rome Charpentier giving chase.
This is insane.
Send it, here we go. Reader out front, transitions into that first outside zone. Reader on the line, Rome Charpentier back at it, sans the hood into that second outside zone. Reader going deep, Rome not as deep. How much does he trust his engine? It doesn't matter. This is for all the marbles, not the ones in the engine, the ones that are on the podium. Travis Reader all the way out on the outside zone and bringing it on home. Reader and Charpentier.
You've got to be kidding me. You never know what's possible in this sport. And we just saw a full pull there. Now the judges can take a look at the mistakes made. They can measure the value of that first run. They can measure how big of a mistake it was, and they can judge it against this second run here. An unbelievable way to finish the night. So much drama.
Look at Reader, though. I mean, we're focusing on the drama of Rome Charpentier getting it together, but look at the line of Reader and Rome. Just a bit short, but again, taking that first run, as you say, into account.
Yeah, I mean, the first run is going to be a needle mover for sure, because it resulted in dramatic movement from both vehicles prior to the finish line. And so it's going to be weighing that against this incredible lead run from Reader and a pretty good chase run from Rome, all things considered, right? So I think we're going to have to see that first run again. Here's the second run one more time. We'll go back and revisit the first run. You can see Rome does not seem to be at 100%, but no kidding, right? Reader out front doing a great job in the lead position. Rome trying to hold it together, as you said, marbles and all. Through this last section, Reader in the deepest part of the zone, so his lead run was phenomenal. We have to go back and look at that contact again before the finish line and how much weight that's going to have on the overall judgment. Here it is.
Now here's that first run, Ryan. Rome Charpentier initiates. Travis Reader in tow, good job. Travis dives in on the inside, Rome a lot deeper.
Yeah.
So mimicking that angle, he massages it back. Reader trying to flex on him, getting to the door, massaging it. But then watch this transition here. Going to that final outside zone. Rome's there, he's up in the mix. Reader, bonk, and throws him off to the left.
Right.
But it seemed like almost just like right, like moments before that finish line. Moments before. And if we have a winner, we'll bring the cars down up front in front of the media. Chelsea Denofa will join them. Chelsea Denofa guaranteed third place. One of these gentlemen is going to be a first-time Formula Drift Pro winner. Top of the box. The other one just a bit outside, but also for the first time getting their first ever, both these guys, first ever carbon fiber Formula Drift Pro trophy. One just a little higher on the box than the other. Chelsea Denofa shaking things up in the championship. Matt Field finishes fourth. And here's our BC Racing side-by-side, what could potentially be the final time here this crazy evening.
Well, once again, revisiting these overheads, looking at it side-by-side. Reader on that shallower line at the beginning of outside zone 2. Rome trying everything he can to hold the car together in one piece. His lead run was very, very strong, and obviously the marquee moment right there. That bump.
Just barely.
And it's right at the end too, right?
Just barely.
You know, there's a sympathetic case for Rome here, but the judges have to go with the criteria.
He's still smiling, man. And I know Travis is too. I mean, just the nerves. I mean, the support systems. You know, you see, you know, Rome Charpentier's dad, I see him quite a bit. His mom's out here. You know, Travis Reader, his family is such a backbone of his program. And there's many of that, but right now we're talking about these two drivers that are first timers in the Pro Championship. Going, we have a winner, a hard-fought battle, and it is all right. So as we are bringing the 3 podium finishers down to the track, are we good? All right, there we are. We're bringing our 3 podium finishers down to center track. Make some noise for our podium finishers. We have a victor. Make some noise as they step outside of their vehicle. The day is over, the night is over. Carbon fiber trophies, hugs for Denofa and Reader and Rome Charpentier. What an insane, insane event. Hugs all around, a hard-fought battle. Here we go. Let's award our podium finishers here on track. Well, you know who finished third place? Third place, shaking things up here in New Jersey, a hunt for the championship. Third place in the Pennzoil BC Racing Mustang RTR Spec 5D. Say howdy, get rowdy, Chelsea Denofa. And now your winner at round 4 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship, the Type S Gauntlet, presented by AutoZone. It was a split decision, 2-1. The winner here at round 4 drives a BMW with an LS under the hood. And your winner, again, not unanimous, 2-1 for the first time ever. Congratulations to both these newcomers in the Formula Drift Pro Championship, their first ever carbon fiber trophy. But the first place overall winner here in New Jersey is Travis Reader. Gets the win in the Link Engine Management. Travis Reader Motorsports, GT Radial BMW, 2-1. The Walmart Greeter Speed Reader gets the win here in New Jersey. And with that, second place, he's got a smile on his face. Congratulations, second place here in New Jersey. First time podium finisher in the Pro Championship, the Garageistic Imagine Garage, Federal Tires, Magnuson Supercharged, BMW, Giving Moderns Hell, Rome Charpentier!
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable turn of events. We're gonna get Lorette Nickel down there with our winner. We're gonna see Travis Reader cry. So I wanna throw it first down to Lorette Nickel. Lorette, let's see those tears.
He just said, I'm chilling, I'm good. He's a liar. Guys, this is an incredible moment, equal to Orlando. Travis Reader has been working for 4 seasons in pro to get here. You have been waiting for this moment. Obviously, a very emotional moment for you because of the hard work, the heart, the dedication that this win must represent.
I don't even have words. This is the longest day of drifting in my entire life. Having 2 one more times, and then we got a bye through to the 4, which we don't like to get those that way, but going into the 4 with Chelsea, that's like absolutely the pinnacle of it for me. That's my boy, and he absolutely rips. He's the best there is. So to be able to put him in the trailer was super sick, bragging rights all day, so I'm not going to let him live it down. Rome has been absolutely shredding. He's been on a tear. He took us out in Long Beach in the 32, so we got him back. Oh, man, I got nothing. I got nothing.
That's it. Do you want to thank the team?
Dude, yeah, my guys actually shredded today. Forgot to mention we had some parts failures also in our 32 battle, and then we also had another small gremlin going into the 8, and the guys got it knocked out. And oh my God, Linky Sue, GT Radial, Nicholas, all these guys have been helping me out. Everyone's just like blows my mind. I wouldn't be here without them.
Travis, I know this moment, the weight of it is getting to you. I know you will start to see through this. We will give you that carbon fiber trophy, that one that you have been working so hard for. What is the first thing you're going to tell your family about this experience?
I mean, all my family back home is watching, and I know they're going to get an earful when we get home. My phone has been dead for a while from it just like blowing up in the car. Man, I don't have anything else to say. This is just like dream come true.
Congratulations.
Oh, thanks RTR for the nitrous, boys. I appreciate you guys. Yeah.
Got it. Final words. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to Travis Reader, your winner of round number 4 here at Englishtown, New Jersey. Congratulations, Travis.
Congratulations, Travis Reader. Again, Rome Charpentier and Chelsea Denofa. Look at that, getting some nitrous from RTR to get the victory. And Rome Charpentier, hey, real quick, going to Robbie Nishida down here. Quick explanation, it was not unanimous, 2-1. What was the deciding factor for you and the other judge?
Bro, my RPM went negative, and then my RPM on the gauge went negative, like 600, and then it would not start. Oh, photo.
There we go.
Deciding factor for the two of us was Reader was closer overall, and there wasn't the angle match that we were looking at throughout the day today. But Rome was a little bit further away, but he was also shallow on angle as well. And that might have been the major part of our decision. Now, the other judge saw that Reader kind of dove in from outside zone 1 to 2, and he kind of beeline going into it, where he cheated the line a lot more than Rome did. And he took that heavier and decided Rome would get the win. But it was a 2-1 decision, and that's why there's 3 of us. And I think it's a very, very fair call. And overall today, it was just so crazy. And this shows that this track is very, very unique, very technical. And also the driver's level is just not something that I've ever seen before. And this is really, really crazy.
Speak to the collision real quick, because that's what everybody wants to know. How did that factor in?
Okay, the factor, it was towards the end of the track, and it was because Reader was, charging really, really hard. And yes, we don't want to see collision, but it was really, really towards the end of the track, and we kind of made that a wash where, it wasn't a factor. It wasn't really a factor.
It wasn't a factor. It was after the finish line, similar to what we saw previously.
Exactly.
Okay, so that was kind of null and void. It's unfortunate it happened, and fortunately he got his car running, but it's not. Basically, it cut off right there. Anything that happened afterwards was happened afterwards. So, Ryan, your thoughts, closing culmination. Let's go give out some carbon fiber trophies. It's been a crazy long night.
Absolutely crazy. Incredible crowd here in New Jersey. Thankful to the fans for sticking around for many, many hours of broadcast. We've been drifting since Thursday, and look at those standings right there getting shaken up.
Unofficial.
As we head to the halfway point in the series, moving forward to St. Louis.
Congratulations to, again, Matt Field taking that points lead. We are officially at the halfway point of our 2022 season. Again, congratulations, Travis Reader and that of Rome Charpentier, their first ever podiums, and Travis's first ever win. Chelsea Denofa, on behalf of Ryan Sage, Lorette Nickel, our judges, Robin Ishida, Chris Yule, Brian Egger. Again, if there's any indication of the rest of the season, you're going to want to tune in. St. Louis, Seattle, Utah, and Irwindale. The House of Drift, 8 rounds, and of course, for the Link Engine Management Pro Spec Championship, the Pro Championship, it's all going down. The continuation, don't stop. Keep the party going, and we'll see you online, and we'll see you another time. Thank you for joining us for Inland Drift Nation, and of course, we'll be sending it again in just about a month in St. Louis. I'm Jared Dienda. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's give out some carbon fiber trophies.
Judgment is for fools. Control and trust are the enemy's tools. Fake is the trend this time.